Hi, and welcome to our next edition of Hey Doc, What's Up? Today I want to delve into what does a woman's female cycle actually mean? What does it look like? What are docs talking about when they talk about hormone levels and whether you're matched or not matched, or where are you? What are they talking about? Well, it depends if they're talking about your 28-day cycle, or whether or not they're talking about whether you are age appropriate for your hormone levels based upon if you're in your teenage years, your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, or heading into perimenopause, menopause at age 50. So they're different graphs, but they are talking about similar and comparable things. So let's start first, sorry for the chemistry lesson, but let's start first with your female cycle. What is your cycle? Well, it's called your menstrual cycle. It's typical for most women to have a 28-day cycle, meaning that from day 1, which is the beginning of your bleed, usually lasting about 5 days, that's your menstrual cycle. Then you're going to usually ovulate halfway in between, or about day 14. And day 14, you're going to make P4 or progesterone. So you make E or estradiol all the way through your cycle. You only make progesterone for the last 2 weeks of your cycle when you ovulate. So with ovulation, you will peak your progesterone when your uterus asks itself, are we pregnant? I don't think so. You don't think so? I don't think so. So then what do? Well, we're out of here. So your levels will drop. You will no longer support a good lining, and that lining will therefore, once you have no further progesterone around, you will shed that lining and restart all the way back at day 1. So when you have a typical cycle, it is a 28-day cycle. There are many variations on the theme of what is considered a normal cycle. Some women will have 26, some women will have 30 to 32, but if your periods and your cycles are regular for you, whether it's 28 or not, 28 is simply the usual convention because it will follow a, quote, lunar cycle. So you've heard that term before, likely, but a lunar cycle is roughly a 28-day cycle. So again, you're going to make both of your female hormones, yet what we also make is male hormone. That's right, we make male hormone. And so in a male hormone setting, we will make approximately a 15th percentile, but that number stays pretty steady as she goes as we progress through our menstrual career. And that menstrual career starts from puberty, age 12 and a half to 13, all the way to age 50 and a half in the US. Many women will actually start their perimenopause, menopause, and be done as early as age 45, some even as early as 40 to 42. So a premature menopause could be as early as less than age 40. But other women may actually have their menopause happen as late as 53, 55, even 58. But it's highly unusual to go past age 58 to 60 and still be having not only regular female hormone production, but ovulation, which is why you're not usually going to be able to get pregnant once you are in menopause, all right? But you're also not going to be making female hormone because, as you can see over here, if your female hormone, the solid line, is actually kind of crazy over here, and I'll explain this in a minute, but you quit making it out here. And when you quit, your body quits. You are no longer making any. Is that good for you? Not necessarily, because too much of a good thing is not good, but too little of a thing is not good either. So again, let me recap your menstrual cycle. It's your 2 female hormones. Your estradiol is what you make all the time. Your progesterone is what you make when you ovulate, days 14 to 28. So in order to build enough lining for you to stabilize with progesterone, that's why you have 2 weeks of estradiol only. You are building a nice thick lining. Estradiol builds things. It can also build bad things. I'll get to that in a minute, but it's your builder of your lining. Then you're still having estradiol on board while you stabilize and enrich your lining with progesterone. That progesterone is what makes it a nice soft mattress, if you will, versus a hard piece of board that you're going to sleep on or that a baby is going to implant into. So you want a nice soft cushion for that fetus or that baby to actually land in and start to grow versus something very hard that doesn't have good blood supply. But when we have our cycle month after month, it's that we are set up, ladies, to be able to procreate, to be able to have babies. And so when we don't get pregnant, our body is going to cycle again and do it again the next month. So this, as your menstrual cycle, is then on an average, if you make appropriate amounts of hormone, and we'll get to this in the next session, but when you make appropriate amounts of hormone, that's your menstrual career. So stay tuned and we'll cover that on Hey Doc, What's Up?